In this part, we are going to learn about authentication suppliers. Authentication in Aura Quantic is flexible, and it is decided in the moment we install it, although we modified some things later on. There are several possibilities to store the login session data: Microsoft SQL database, Active Directory Federation Services, and other external providers. We can classify the authentication according to the following: user's nature and the storage location of the login data. It is possible to design scenarios as secure and flexible as the following. In this example, for example, authentication of employees is in the Active Directory and in the internal network with their own website. As for the external users, they have another independent website in the DM set. The structure described in the previous image is reflected in structure, administration, authentication. As we can see, we have different websites, one for the employees portal and another one for the external. If we go to the database option, we can see that all the users are external ones. Only the external users' login data is in the database. The employees' data, as we saw before, is in the Active Directory. Let's go to the application now to see some examples. So if we go to structure, administration, authentication, and websites, we can see here the location of the authentication, is in the database for both, for the external and the employees. If we go here and click on proceed, we can see all the employees and the external users. Here in the database, we can also see some restrictions. In here, we can configure them, so we can configure some login restrictions and some restrictions for the password. As for the login, we have a maximum attempts that we can try to log in. And if we don't put the right password, then we can add a log time. Like for example, in 5 minutes, you can try again. Password expire. We can also add here days if we want to, that they keep changing it. Avoid the last 2 or 3 passwords if we don't want them to repeat the same password over and over again. User format, username format, as an email or just free. Maximum length, and so on. Also we can add the case sensitive or if we want any special characters. As for the password, we can choose a minimum length and some mandatory characters like lowercase, uppercase, numbers, symbols. We can select all of them if we wanted to. In here, we can find another useful option, which is password recovery. Here, we only have to indicate the record field where we want it to be sent. So we can see it can be the employee email or the position email. And as for the external, it can be the email or select field in the record. It's very important we take into account that the same user that 2 different users, can have the same email account, Because otherwise, if we didn't have the right password and they send us a link, it will be sent to 2 different users. So obviously, each user can have 1 different email, But the same email cannot be used by 2 different users. The password recovery can be done as well with the start login form. So if we log off and then here, we can see I've forgotten my password option. And it says here, enter the email associated with your user and we'll send you a password recovery link. So it will be that easy, We will just have to add the email, the right email, obviously, and then just click on send and we will get a link in our email account. And now let's move on to see the different authentication methods used in Aura Quantic.